So now you want to turn your paper over. So you have this. Let me zoom in a little. So now basically, now you turn your paper over so you have this. So you want to place your thumb sort of in the middle of the bottle and your pointer finger right there on that part just to hold it. This is how I do it. And you want to go along the bottom of the flap, and this is the part that most people don't explain well. Push it out along this crease up here. So you push it out along this crease, that little house that I showed you earlier. So you come up and you have your little house pushed out right there, if you can see it. So you have your little house, and then just along those creases that you made, along this one back here, you can sort of collapse that there, and it leaves you with a point. Leaves you with a point right here, and I always sort of just fold that over because it'll come back up in a little. And it'll go along existing creases. This should all fall very naturally. So that's one side of it done. So this is what it'll look like that. And this is one that's to look like that. Now you just need to do that to all the sides. And you want to take this, and you'll have this layer lying flat, and you want to take this layer right here and fold over it, and it'll lie straight, sort of like this, with everything on it. And then you'll have it hangs over it, and you want to fold this edge over the other piece of paper, and this locks it in, so you have this edge right there. And you have to do that on all the ones that it folds over. So this is 2 of them with one locked. And you just have to repeat that on all of them. You'll see this is part of the line from the little house earlier. But so you can see where it is relative to there. This is your little flap that you have right here. This little thing, this is your little flap right there. So you want to fold down right here. Let me get this out of the way. You want to fold down right on there. So sort of just, you sort of just have to pinch it real tight. You'll need to make sure the others are closed and do that on the rest of them. I know that's not a fold from the little house, that's an existing crease, but it's so to close the bottom, you do that and make sure they're all interweaving very nice. And the 4th one is the hardest to close, so you have all your others like this. I go ahead and sort of make the crease first without putting it inside, so that way it has a place to sort of follow. And now you want to tuck this over the one you just folded, but under the first one, so sort of push it in there as you, and sometimes you can use a pencil to bring the layers out right. Okay, so then you have this shape at the top. So this is what it looks like there. So now you want to, there's a flap right here, you want to take it. I do all this first all at once. So you have like this, and now you want to slowly sort of pull this, spread these layers out. This will create the rose shape, and however much you want to pull it out is to your discretion. So I don't want mine out. I don't like to pull them out all the way. So you sort of get this, and these tend to collapse right along here. This tends to want to fold down, so you can always just take and just sort of push that out there to make it pop back out to make your rose stay more circular. Then after that, you're almost done. Now really all you have to do is just shape the rose. So you have that thing, that flap that you made from the little house. So just get it with your fingernail, and you don't, be careful not to let these layers right here spread out like that. Just sort of take them and pull it back to create another petal, and go ahead and do that on all of them. What I discovered, you can take this flap right here and create another petal if you have enough room, and just fold it real nicely, but be careful not to pull it out too much, because, well, so you can sort of pinch with your fingernails to get a nice little curve there. So I do that on all of them. Pull it out, and then get my fingers inside to pinch it to create a nice little curve. It's better to do this with somewhat thicker paper, but not too thick, because sometimes the weak paper doesn't hold as much. And I found if you do this with a smaller sheet of paper, this is a 6 by 6 inches, but if you do this with something small, but like, I don't know, like 4 by 4 or 5 by 5 centimeters, then it comes out real nicely. Now you just need to curve these petals right here. I like to, if you can get them at the bottom real nice right there, the very bottom, it creates a very nice look. So be careful not to rip the paper. Occasionally the paper rips along creases, especially if it's a thinner paper. This model also looks very good wet folded, so if you like to wet fold or are good enough at it, then it's good to try. So then you can just make sure all your petals stay out. And just bring these out here. Also, make sure you don't pull too hard to pull out the bottom. Yeah, see, this paper's so weak it's starting to tear along the edges, so make sure you don't do that. You don't pull enough to tear. And sometimes your petals will sort of get smushed and stuff in the process, but you can always just sort of go back and redo it. And you want to curve the top real nice. This one's sort of ugly looking, so I didn't spend a lot of time on it. Yeah, this one's actually really ugly. But basically, so there's your rose. Nice, pretty. Don't judge me by this. I've made much better ones.